Wake up, buy here, pay here people. It's a beautiful day. Go grab yourself another cup of joe and say hello to Jim and Michelle Rhoads on the Buy Here, Pay Here Morning Show. Take it away, you two.
Hey, good morning, everyone. It's a little bit of a sloppy start here. We're without Michelle. I'm on site with a client in Pennsylvania, so we're happy to have you here. And I realize we got our camera a little crooked. Maybe we're going to fix that. So there we go. So those of you who are listening this morning, first apologies for the clunky start. We count on Michelle, and she's away vacationing, and so we're with Nik Dumin. And he's a dealer in Tyrone, Pennsylvania. We are in State College this morning, set up in a hotel room. Those of you that are tuned in, if you would be so kind as to let us know that you are getting audio. We're just kind of in a weird setup this morning, so I want to make sure that everybody's able to pick up what we're doing. But yeah, so Nik was kind enough to take away time from the things that we're working on and be able to share with our audience kind of what we've got going on in terms of the consultation. And so, Nik, you might share, first of all, give folks a little bit of your background about your business, kind of how you got started in business, and then we'll talk about your particular situation now.
Yeah, so we started it in a service business primarily in 2017, and we just got involved fixing and flipping a couple used cars just for cash, and buy or pay or something I kind of always had my eyes on, and eventually transitioned into some that we're still very small, but we're working on getting that up here. But we started doing that in about 2021, I think, so just a couple years, and we're just building every week, trying to.
Yeah, so you might just share kind of what's going on. You and I have known each other for a time, and so you might just kind of share what's going on that prompted you to reach out, like why you thought it was helpful to have me come out and spend some time with you.
Yeah, certainly. So as I said, we've just been growing our portfolio a little bit, and we have some employees and have been staging like our recon and getting everything kind of amped up, and I feel like we're at a place where we could really start to grow, and I just certainly wanted to make sure before we take on all that growth that we're ready to take on that growth, and we got the things in place structurally that need to be in place, and capital and all the pieces.
Yeah, and from my perspective, you seem like you're in a great position to grow. I mean, we've talked about that. You've got personnel in place and certain elements. One of the things we're mapping out is where you will be able to benefit from some additional help here and there. And of course, we're talking through capitalization, we're talking through software, we're talking through all those kind of things. I think, for me, it looks like got a confirmation on the audio. Thanks, Karen. So thanks for letting us know. We just we're struggling without Michelle up here. So
I'm no Michelle Rhoads, that's for sure.
Yeah, few of us are. She's something. But anyway, the thing about your business is that we see that you're in a position to grow, but you're also struggling with a lot of the same things that we see dealers in your situation wrestle with. As you start to grow, it's challenging to figure out when and where you add people.
Sure.
Obviously you're trying to keep those expenses down. And as you and I talked about, on the ride in here, I was able to look through your financials, the ride in here on the plane, not in the car. But yeah, so we're able to look through your financials and kind of get a feel for what's going on. And you're like a lot of dealers that we work with. You show to be highly profitable on paper, but we have this buy here, pay here element mixed into your financials, and so it gives a false sense about where you're at, because all that profit that shows up on your P&L, and you don't have that in your bank account. So it's
certainly not.
Yeah. So it's like it's a challenging part of the whole growth thing. And I just think one of the things that we see as we do this kind of thing is that people wrestle to figure out, when does it make sense to take on money? Obviously, some folks are averse to debt. Some folks can't really access the capital. They don't know what's really out there. In your case, you've been able to come up with some solutions to fund your way to where you are. And now to take the next step is a pretty big step in terms of capitalization and figuring out just exactly how much market potential, market size there is here to be able to tap into. But I think one of the things that, I certainly hope to accomplish with this visit is to figure out, how much capital makes sense, how much growth opportunity is there. And then, we got to figure out for you, what do you want to create with your business, regardless of what's available. We got to figure out, what are you really looking to build, and what do you want your life to look like in 3 years, and your business to look like, and all those kind of things. So, we're barely starting to get into that. I was lucky enough to get in here and be able to spend a little time with you and your wife last night. And so, it was a delight to meet her. I think she's obviously, we talk about that. We try to involve spouses because we just recognize when you're in a business like you're in, the impact to the family, the impact to lifestyle is a real thing. And so we want to try to address those pieces, as much as we can. So you might just kind of share with, what you're seeing in that regard.
Yeah, and it's, before you brought that up, I'll bring her to dinner and stuff, like it's something that's in the back of your head, but it really just it's very important. We got through that, but there's a lot of pieces going on, and yeah, as far as I lost my place.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah. So one of the things about Nick's operation is that he comes from the service side of the business first. I mean, that's really where you started, and so you've got a full tech team, and you've got really your retail service center, and then you've got a recon service center as well. And so as you grow now, you're starting to feel struggles more on the sales and office side of your business. And so it's among the things we'll be working together to figure out is, how much sales do we want to do, and when does it make sense to plug in people in those things? And so it's an interesting balance, because you've got marketing and sales. There's the balance between capital and then personnel. Right. I mean, those things all have to kind of get lined up and match up for you in order for you to, move your volume in terms of where you want to go. So, certainly we expect by the end of tomorrow, we'll have a better idea about that. We've already made a little progress this morning in terms of figuring out some of those pieces. But yeah, it's an interesting thing to examine, and you're not alone in that. I just think it's challenging to figure out, when do we need people? When do we need money? And all those kind of things can be tricky to figure out.
It's really my largest struggle, I think, is, the limiting factors is the capital, and, you can market and get people in the door and sell cars. But, if you're capped on your capital, and, how far can you really take that?
Sure.
And, can the staff handle the volume? And again, that's really what we're trying to get down to is,
sure.
All this fitting in all these pieces and making sure that we're ready to go.
Right. Well, the collection side too, obviously, sure. You guys have to manage that. And so you've got, and your repos are very low, your charge-offs are running low. And so obviously that'll grow, as your portfolio grows, the demand on collections is going to increase. And so you've got to, make sure that you've got the people to support that, because none of us want to be selling cars and have a bad performing portfolio. That doesn't solve much of anything. It just adds headaches, So we got to figure out how to manage that. But I think, what I see in your business is you're similar to a lot of the folks that we work with. You've got a good head for business. You've got a lot of opportunity, got a lot of market here. And the one thing I share with you already is that you have the good fortune of having a number of people in place already on the service side. And you indicated for me that you're still struggling to get cars through. Of course, you might share with our audience that you also do primarily salvage title, or whatever you call it, in Pennsylvania.
Yep. Salvage title, reconstructed title. We buy insurance wrecks and rebuild them, and put them back on the road. But I found that we spoke about this a little bit earlier, that we're able to get a newer, lower mile car for much less. And even after repairs, end up in a good spot. And that's done wonders for like our reinsurance numbers, and our warranty claims are very low in that regard, because we're able to put a lower mile car on the road. But the turn time in recon is what kills us. Our guys are pretty quick and they're very thorough, but it's still you're talking a week or two at least for a lightly damaged unit. So my goal certainly is if if we're going to grow, it's to mix in some clean title, clean title auction stuff. And we do, we have a variety. It's probably 70-30 salvage to clean title, but
Sure.
That's kind of where we're heading. I just don't think it's feasible to do larger volume without hitting retail auctions and still rebuilding the garage.
Just a bit of a bottleneck.
Can
you buy as many of those kind of cars as you want? The challenge is really in the body shop side of it.
Just turn them over. Yeah, I could find. We buy all over the state, but I could find the things I wanted to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you're saying is it's not so much the supply limitation that keeps you from, when you say you can't really increase your volume, it's really the turning through the body shop.
Yeah.
And so when you said recon earlier, you're really talking about body work. Those cars probably don't require as much mechanically. You got some service work and you're putting some pieces back together mechanically, right? So
I would say they go through both sides either way,
Okay.
but the wrecks are primarily brakes, tires, they're pretty low mile units. They're usually pretty clean. We're very selective, but they definitely are spend much more time in the body shop than mechanical side.
Yeah, and so I think you shared with me you have body folks really in your retail center, and they're the ones who primarily turn around the body stuff. You also have body and recon.
Yeah, just recon.
Okay, so I just remembered wrong about where they were. But yeah, so that's interesting that you're buying that stuff with a reg. The title bears and all that stuff you buy because come from an insurance auction and bears the remanufacturers outside.
Yeah, they come with a salvage certificate. We fix them, repair them. They go to an outside inspection station for what's called an enhanced inspection in Pennsylvania. And they send paperwork off the state and they return with a reconstructed title.
Okay. Yeah.
All of us, so we have to disclose to our customers.
Right.
So the title's branded.
Yeah. So, we can probably, we'll keep it short today. We got work to do, but I think we just wanted to have a chance. And I love the idea of taking folks right inside the work that we're doing together. And if you're available and willing, we can do the same thing on Wednesday morning before I head back. If the schedule permits, I'll check my flight time. But we got a Wednesday broadcast. We need to figure out, we can probably talk some more on the backside of the visit, and we can talk about, what we've really learned and what's, kind of a little bit of information about whatever direction we end up creating here. But yeah, I think it's fun to just kind of take our viewers and listeners inside how this stuff works, and kind of mostly to let people know, look, you're not alone. This is stuff that a lot of people are out there wrestling with, and we might not have all the answers. We know people who have answers, so we may have to bring in some other resources on some of this. But I think you've already affirmed one of the things that Nick agreed right away to do was to rent some space over here at the hotel and be able to get away from the dealership, get outside the rat race, right, and get away from the phone and be able to kind of talk through a lot of this stuff. So we've had a pretty good productive start to the morning, and I think we have all day today and tomorrow to sort some stuff out. So we're probably just going to jump off early and go to work here and let folks do the same. But yeah, look for an update on Wednesday on what kind of strategy we develop. That he's willing to share, of course. It's all up to Nick.
It's all up for grabs.
No, but it's fun. I would just say, you're obviously not alone here. This is definitely something that we see other folks dealing with, and I appreciate you being gracious enough to kind of share the story with our listeners, and so we'll jump off, and we look for you to join us on Wednesday when we kind of give you an update. In the meantime, we're going to sign off from State College, Pennsylvania, which, by the way, it was fun to get to go by the stadium last night. I just snapped a photo of the stadium. I just happened by it. I didn't know I didn't know my road was going to take me that direction, so that was cool to get by the Penn State Stadium. And so it's fun to be right here.
And you got a Penn State tassel on there too.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Oh, you stole my color. Yeah, I wasn't.
Big Penn State guy.
Yeah, so good stuff. But so anyway, thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll catch up to you on Wednesday. And just a quick update, we have our August 1st event coming up. Don't forget, and if you're a dealer out there, I didn't think to make this a request of very many dealers already. We're primarily working with vendors who hold a good amount of data, but we're starting to get some dealers to contribute data as well. August 1st event where we're going to go through deal structure. So we're looking at ACV, we're looking at interest rate, we're looking at term of loan, length of loan, and then cost of vehicle. So with some kind of indexes there to study that. And I just was said this morning early, I was studying, we got one dealer contributed about 5,000 accounts. So we start to look at that across many years and see what lessons are there and we'll just bring that stuff to dealers in a real transparent way. Yeah. So we're just trying to make sure people are aware that we're doing that on August 1st, so people want to get tuned in for that. We're gonna have a lot of really good stuff in there, and we got at the conference in Vegas, we had some other dealers offered to contribute data as well. So if you're a dealer with at least 1,000 accounts with that or seasoned or mature, they have reached maturity. Either they ended in repo or they made it all the way to the end. So if somebody got at least 1,000 accounts and you want to contribute that data to that conversation, we'll have Mark Burkholder, keep doing that, Brent Carmichael, and Chuck Banana will be there to help go through the data and talk through it. So again, if you're a dealer with that kind of data, reach out, let us know. We'd love to have you involved in the discussion. And for those of you who contribute data in that way, you'll get the pool of data and the results, and then you'll get your own data back in a kind of a graphic presentation. So yeah, we would encourage people that are in that situation with a mature operation to reach out. Let's get them part of the conversation. But I think you and I should wind down there and go back to work. So again, thanks for tuning in, folks, and look for an update on Wednesday. So again, thanks for hanging in with us. We'll see you folks on Wednesday.